How's it going, everybody? Today I'm reviewing The Flash Season 2, Episode 22, Invincible. Spoiler this episode if you've not seen it. Go watch this episode, then come back here. This episode opened up with metahumans just wrecking the whole city. And it seems like they maybe only had the budget for the beginning of the episode because they were only there and then they were gone and you didn't really see them for the rest of the episode. It felt a little weird, but it was cool to open up to that and see such chaos happening in Central City. So that was a cool way to open up the episode and really piqued my interest to start. One, I guess, kind of a weird part right at the beginning was Caitlyn all of a sudden gets dropped off just out of nowhere. It seemed like he had no use for her anymore, and just felt very convenient. I thought maybe she was like brainwashed or she was infiltrating, but that wasn't exactly the case. But I did like how Caitlyn was kind of dealing with this PTSD where she keeps seeing Zoom and just her having to deal with the effects of being kidnapped from Zoom, and just how that impacted her throughout the episode. Then we go over and we see this great conversation. I love the conversation between Wally and Joe, where Joe's just screaming at him, like, what are you doing? Like, you can't just be this hero. You can't keep putting yourself in the line of fire. Leave this to the police. And he tries to get Barry to get that into his head as well. It doesn't quite work out. And as we see later, and Wally goes and saves Barry. But I like the conversation between Joe and Wally, and it's one of my more favorite scenes with Wally, who I haven't been a big fan of so far this season. But this episode really kind of started to win me over on Wally, just a little bit, at least with that scene in particular. We also see the impact that being in the Speed Force has on Barry. He's way more optimistic. He's almost too optimistic, which is a little, like, it felt like a complete 180. I understand maybe transitioning. It just kind of felt way off book for Barry to be so optimistic and not feel any of the threat. He's kind of like joking around a little bit, and it worked for a little bit, but at the same time, it was a little too far polar opposite for Barry. But I do like how he's kind of not this mopey Barry anymore. That might change again next episode. But for this one, I liked it. Just it was a bit too much of a change. There's also a great scene between Barry and Zoom, which I loved with them at the police department, where Zoom is basically telling it, like, we're not different at all. We have the same things happen to us. But the thing is, you want to help people, you want to be the hero, and I don't need to worry about that. So you're going to save this building that's going to come crashing down. So again, there's a lot of good scenes, one-on-one scenes this episode that I really enjoyed. And of course, we can't forget Katie Cassidy back as Laurel Lance. Spoiler for Arrow if you have not seen Arrow. It kind of revealed itself in the episode that she had died, the Earth 1 one. So we have Black Siren, and she worked for what she was. It was great to see Laurel back. I know she's not a huge fan favorite, but I like seeing this different take on Laurel Lance, being this badass that she is, and her taking down buildings with the official, like, canary cry almost. So cool way to introduce her. And we also get Dr. McGee, and she kind of takes down that building, and we get Barry running to save the day, saves her, and she apparently knows who Barry is. So everyone knew except Wally at the end of the episode. Then we also have Cisco vibing throughout the whole episode. We don't really find out what is he vibing. He had something to do with birds. So I'm like, oh, it has something to do with Black Siren, kind of canary with birds. I thought that was kind of the tie-in. Find out it's kind of just complete destruction on Earth 2, kind of just splitting it right down the middle, destroying both Earths, and just destroying everything, basically. So we got that deal with next week, as Cisco's vibe and kind of plays a big part throughout this episode, and you can see his powers are increasing, especially in the showdown between the fake Reverb and Killer Frost, where they kind of disguise themselves. I like that scene where they're kind of disguising themselves, and she calls him kind of out a little bit, but he does this power. So Cisco is developing his powers more slowly and slowly, and I enjoyed seeing that. I also like the good other reference from Cisco with the Beats by Wells. That's kind of a funny joke, but where Barry then zooms around, creates this little force field thing. They let off the siren, goes off the frequency. It's because the frequencies work differently on Earth 1 and Earth 2, and of course Harrison gives up his because the other ones are working. Harrison will be okay. I'm pretty sure he'll be fine. No big deal. But this forces Zoom to go to Earth 2, and everything seems safe on Earth 1 for at least the time being. It's a little too safe almost. And I also liked how the Flash comes in to the Central City Police Department, and he's like, oh, where's Barry Allen? He quickly zooms away, and Barry Allen comes bumbling in. I like that duality. It was a funny moment that I enjoyed. And of course, you get the Iris and Bear relationship, which I forgot to mention last week. I actually enjoy the way this is progressing, and it's been hinted at so much, and I feel like it's not being forced at me. I've heard some other people say it is forced, but I don't feel that way at all. I feel like it's progressed naturally, and of course now they're like, let's give it a shot. But again, I'm like, episode can't really end on a happy note. It'd be weird. We have one more episode to go, and sure enough, it doesn't. Zoom comes in, takes Henry, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna kill him. But the one that really hit me though was where he took him. He took him back to Barry's home and killed him in the exact same spot that his mom was killed. And he's like, you're gonna watch your dad die like I had to watch mine. And he kills him, and he's dead. And that's where it ends. Really emotional moment because that's been built up. Sure, we haven't seen him enough this season. It would have been nice to see him a little bit more throughout the season, but all season 1, you had the relationship between Barry and his father, and now he's lost 2 of his parental figures. His biological parents are dead now. He still has Joe, who kind of raised him, but it's gotta hurt, man. It's gotta hurt, and he's gonna have to deal with that next episode, along with taking down Zoom and saving the city. So lots of stuff to deal with in the finale episode. I enjoyed this episode for what it was. It set up very nicely for this finale, this final showdown. Shit's gonna go down in the next episode, and cannot be more excited for it. So anyways, let me know your thoughts on the episode in the comment section below. Again, be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more videos each and every week. That is it, and I'll talk to y'all later.